liquidity is very important. With Anubhav, I'm like, hey man, might need this much amount. Sure, just give me 48-hour notice. 2 दिन में दे दूंगा मैं. Cash in, cash out fund है. 2 दिन बता दो. And I always feel like he's happy about it. Good, you're going to use your money like for something cool. That's great. I never feel like he feels that the amount we are managing is getting lesser, which it is. But that shows that he's on my side first and then on Prescient side, and that's really cool. My name is Shantanu Deshpande. I am the founder and CEO of personal care startup in India. It's called Bombay Shaving Company. Prescient Capital for me is basically Anubhav and Sonal. Whatever little capital is there on the side, I like to work with great people who I can learn from. So angel investing in founders who are building good businesses, so there is a lot of that. And then when Anubhav and Sonal got together, there were two people who had tremendous equity from a problem solving standpoint, trust. I had seen them for many years. And they clearly knew what they wanted to get into. Their thesis was very clear. So I like good people doing something great. I want to be a part of this. So that was the decision. It was not more than that actually. I think it's been 5 years. It's been amazing. Like I think Prescient Capital, which is Anubhav and Sonal for me, my father and I found managing finances to be something that we bond over. Okay, so he used to be a CEO in his time. He's now 70 years old. So when we got into Prescient, Dad was 65, and I was like, I don't know this. He had some time. He said, let me work with them to figure out what they're up to. So he's a very academically curious kind of person. Over the last 5 years, every time Dad and I have a question on financial markets, whether it is, and these 5 years have been difficult, right? There was a COVID, then there was a funding crisis, then there was tariffs, then there is Bitcoin. There's lots, right, happening in the world. So every time there's a question, the first thing my dad says is, what does Anubhav and Sonal think about this? Can we do a call with them? I'm like, you please go ahead and do it. So he has a separate line of communication. We have a WhatsApp group, and that's who they are. Like the performance of the fund and all of that is, of course, one thing which is great, and I think people will talk about it. But for me and my father and my family, it is anytime we need some wisdom or some perspective, which we don't have the intelligence, expertise, or time. They are our first port of call. Amongst this whole plethora of finance experts, they are the first people we go to. What demarcates and differentiates Prescient Capital from the rest, right? There are 3-4 things. Number one is I come from a background of consulting, so I love great literature. When someone puts in the effort to do bottom-up research, top-down triangulations, because public market investing is extremely complicated and everyone pretends to understand it, very few people actually do, and the ones who understand it the most say they don't understand it at all, right? But in that world, when you see great research literature consistently over and over again with a certain amount of hypotheses, here is what we used to think, here is what we think, here are the people we have spoken to, here is what the numbers look like, and hence here is what our thought process is. By the way, we are certain that we don't know everything. In fact, we know very little, but this is what our point of view is. That combination of research, rigor, and humility is amazing. It's very rare. So that's what I love. Every time Anubhav and Sonal talk to me or talk to even, let's say, a potential friend. Every time a friend is like, hey, where do we invest? I can connect them. And my push to the friend also is that they're very conservative people. They will never over-promise something. They will always, in fact, under-promise so much that it might scare the other person. The humility sometimes is so much that you feel like, okay, they're very conservative. But that's the hallmark of someone. If you want to kind of park capital and see it over over decades, then you need someone with that kind of. So that's what I love. I love research rigor. I love the approach of being conservative, under-promise, over-deliver. Be very honest and transparent. Like there are times when markets have corrected. Especially the last 5 years have been crazy, right? So markets have corrected. Every time there's a WhatsApp chat. Hey, what do you guys think? And they're like, this is a correction. Here is what I'm thinking. Blah blah blah. But don't worry, and let's get onto a call, and then they'll go through it in detail. So it's just very, very, very authentic, solid, intelligent approach, which I really like. Whenever I get a monthly newsletter, or whenever there's like, and sometimes these PDFs come up on WhatsApp or on email, etc. I'm like, for me, it's like hooked content, right? I like, cool, this is very interesting, because I know that there is a lot of research that's gone into it. So I do like the communication, the cadence of communication. It is not in your face. The second thing, it is not salesy. With a lot of money managers, they're always looking to, and it's not their fault, their incentives are aligned. Human beings are incentive driven people, like we are a species of incentives, right? But they're very careful about making sure that they are not selling anything ever. Their objective and reason to exist is, we are here to manage your money, and if we do a good job there, then we will do well for ourselves, and that's the most important thing, and that's it, and we'll have a long-term view on it. So I love the communication that is research-oriented, the cadence is good, not too much, not too little, it keeps me intrigued, and it is not salesy, which is great. The moment I feel like I want to know something, or I feel like there is something that I'm curious about, or hey, what's happening here, like tariffs, for example, or I immediately put it on the WhatsApp group. My dad will kind of put it, and then and how does that impact? Like, do you think we should invest more? Markets are coming down. There's a correction. Should we come in, or should we stay cautious, or are there certain sectors where we should kind of increase exposure? Whatever you can ask. Like, for example, when GLP-1 was kind of becoming this thing, patents are expiring. Like, hey, what's happening here? And I think their process is very simple. They're like, hey, long term, this is what's going to happen. So if you have a long term view and this is your risk appetite, here is what we suggest in terms of buying in the dip, or kind of allocation during corrections, or if there is exuberance, hey, there's exuberance, let's be careful. And what I love about them is Prescient Capital, whenever I talk to them, they never say your money, or our money, or fund. They always treat it like it's collective pool of capital. Like, I always feel like they own my money. You know what I'm saying? So that gives me, and even when they pitch and kind of their investment thesis is that a large part of their net worth is in the fund. So they have a lot of skin in the game, and you can see that. One is to say it, the other is to behave like it is the truth. And with them, it is always the latter is very much there, and that's what I love about it. So the process is great. I think they have a good team, and it's very seamless. But the approach is transparent. If you are someone who might have short-term, medium-term, long-term needs of capital, your child might be going to college. You might want to buy a house. You might want to, whatever, you might have some outflow, you might have some inflow coming in. It is amazing to look at the dashboard, see how much you've invested, what the current asset value is, what your rate of return, all of that is fine, but also very transparent on fees, like very clear about it. Invoicing is absolutely on point, super compliant. I always feel like recommending Anubhav and Sonal to my friends is the easiest way for me to get favors from my friends. कि मैंने तुमको बताया ना ये, now you owe me, right? It's the easiest way to do it. So now, like, few of us are investors there, and the general feedback is that this is how they are. So consistency, not only over a period of time, but across a cohort of clients is very high on this aspect also. Prescient being Prescient has made them very happy, and then I'm able to extract favors from them for making that connect. So I'm very selfishly aligned to recommending Prescient to my friends, always.